startup script. So in this video, along with demonstration, let's understand about startup script, and let's see how to create virtual machine instance along with the startup script. Okay. So as the name suggests, the startup script is a kind of a script that executes during the startup of the VM creation. Okay, so bootstrapping with the startup script. Bootstrapping is the program that initializes the operating system during the startup. So whenever or whatever script that you define during the startup, right? So it will be getting executed at the time of VM creation. So it would be much helpful to simplify the VM creation process when you have requirement to create multiple VMs. So each and every time, say for example, you want to create a VM with and to if there consider there is a requirement that you need to install a VM or you need to create a VM, and to make sure that you have an updated patch, OS patch, or your updated OS patch, and you are installing a web application, something like that, and you want to keep you want to keep that application as an updated one. So in that case, what you can do, you can write a startup script to update the to have an updated OS patch, and to install the web application, or to update the application, like that. So what happens whenever you create the VM instance, at the time of instance itself, at the time of VM creation itself, it create the VM, and immediately the scripts in this startup will execute, and it will run accordingly. So if in case you have written a script to update the patch, OS patch, immediately it will update the OS patch. Or if you have written the script to deploy something, to deploy any application within the VM, it will start deploying it. So there are multiple use cases that can be used the startup script. Few important things are, it's mainly used for OS patch, or in some cases it's for application deployment as well. So in our example, in our demonstration video, instead of patch update or something else, what we can do, let's create a VM, and we'll write a startup script in such a way that when the VM instance created, it should create along with the web server, the Apache web server. If you see in our previous demonstration video, in which we have created a VM, and once it is created, then we have done SSH, and we have updated the package, and we have installed that Apache 2, right? And then later we have changed the web page of the default Apache by printing echo statement to the this particular index.html file, right? So instead of doing that manually, in this demonstration video, what we are going to do, when we create this VM instance automatically, okay, automatically, as soon as the VM is created, we are writing a script in such a way that it is automatically deploying, updating the apt, and it is installing the Apache 2 package within the VM. And also, in addition to that, it is going to print this statement in the default HTML page. Okay, so this part we are making it automate. So in order to show this only, in last video I have created a VM, and again manually I showed how to create a web page, means how to deploy the Apache web server manually. But this time we are not going to deploy Apache server manually, it's going to be automated. So if once we create it, right, immediately what happens, right, when we try to access that web server, the virtual machine, using the external IP address, we'll be seeing this output: hi, welcome to the new web page created with the startup script. Okay, because I'm going to print this only, right? So in the echo I have the statement: hi, welcome to the new web page created with the startup script. Fine, let's see how to do it. Let me get into my Google console, and I'm already within the VM instance. Or if you're coming from the dashboard, from the home page, just to search VM instance or compute engine here, or else from the navigation menu you can navigate to compute engine, by which you will come to this page. Okay, so as of now I don't have any VM instance, because I have, means in the previous video we have created some VM, but I have deleted it. Okay, so don't get confused whenever in a new video there won't be any VM which was created in the previous video because I used to delete it. Fine, let me show you how to create. So here is the create instance, right? Just clicking create instance. Okay, and here I'm just giving name. It's like my VM with startup script. Okay, I'm creating a new VM in the name of my VM with startup script. So as you know earlier, if you want, you can add labels, and by default it is in this region. I'm not making any changes, and I'm just going with the general purpose because it costs less. And even in that, I'm choosing micro, which cost around some $7. Okay, fine. So I'm coming here. So it's with the default Debian image. So in order to define your startup script, so before that, as I said earlier, it is an web server, right? So I need to allow firewall rule for port 80 HTTP service. So in order to write your startup script, just come here to the advanced option. Under advanced option, you'll be see something like management. So if you want to give any description, you can add here. And under management, you'll be seeing something like startup script. So here is the place where we need to define the script. So I'm just going to copy and paste the same script which we have given here. Okay, just copying it and paste it. Fine. Okay, I'm just using the same script. So within bin bash apt update, then once apt updated, apt dash y is to, the reason why we have put dash y is if we, in our previous video we just applied apt space install space apache 2, but when we click enter, right, hit enter, it asked for us to confirm whether to download it or not. So at that place we have given y, right? So in this case we don't want it to get stuck here and ask for us to confirm. So that's the reason I'm giving here as a confirmation to yes. Okay, and I'm printing this statement. Fine, let me see. So I'm not making any other changes, I'm just going with the default thing. So, and I'm just coming here, click create. So once you click create, it will take few seconds to create the instance, the VM instance. And one important thing is when you're going with the startup script kind of a stuff, instead of immediately accessing to the VM, we should wait for at least some 2 minutes because because it takes time for the VM implementation, and in the top of that, the script whichever we have defined in the startup script, right, it will be executing. So it needs some time to get executed, right? So in order to download the package, to install it, and so for that it may take some time. So whenever you're going for a startup script, just wait for some couple of minutes and then perform the testing. So now our VM is created. Okay, so this is the VM which we created in the name of my VM with startup script, right? And it is a default zone, internal IP and external IP. So this time I'm not going to, SSH the VM to deploy Apache, nothing. I'm not going to do anything because already Apache web server might have installed on it. So in order to check that, what I do, I'll access this VM using the external IP. See, so when I access this web server using an external IP, I can able to access it through the internet. And if you see the output, it is, hey, welcome to the new web page created with the startup script. So which means that during the time of this VM creation, as per our script, Apache web server is automatically deployed as per the script. Okay, so this is how we can simplify the process using the startup script in multiple ways. Actually, this is one of the example, but startup script may be used in multiple ways in your production environment to fulfill multiple requirement. But this is how the startup script will work.